The Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination. 100 years later, the Negro lives on a lonely island of poverty. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red
Testing. No, it's all right. My name is Latrice Williams, and I am here not for myself today, but I'm here for my 3 daughters who are black girls. I really want to talk to the people who may be on the fence about whether or not Black lives really matter, or whether or not it's okay for the police to bust in somebody's house and murder them for no cause. I know we have a lot of parents out here today. And as a parent, our goal is to make sure that our children are better than us, that they're safe, and they don't have to worry about the cares of the world. My parents taught me that if I, did certain things, got good grades, got in specific groups, stayed away from the east side, stayed away from the west side, just go to college and do what you got to do, that you'll be okay. But looking at this young lady, Breonna Taylor's life, and seeing the picture that they have of her on there in her uniform, which means that she went to school, or she took classes, and she was a quote-unquote good enough individual to wear a uniform, a good enough individual to go to college. But I guess that means that she was also good enough to be murdered in her home with no cause. If you can still be on the fence as a parent, knowing that your cause, knowing that your goal as a parent is to make sure that your children are safe and protected, you can't possibly think that it is okay for someone to intrude in somebody's home and murder them with no cause. Breonna Taylor could have been your daughter. She could have been your sister. She could have been somebody's cousin. But yet her life was taken from her. So no, your children aren't safe. Your children aren't safe. Because if they ran up in Breonna Taylor's house, what stops them from running up in yours? So I have a suggestion. And this comes from when I was applying for a job. I was going to try to be a 911 dispatcher. And I went through the application that they have and the questions that they have, and they ask a lot about drugs. Have you ever thought about doing drugs? Have you ever thought about taking drugs? Are you high right now? Are you this, that, and the third? But it mostly was about drugs. There's nothing in there about, have you ever felt some type of way about another race that's not yours? Have you ever maybe mistreated somebody and you knew it was wrong? So here's my suggestion to the Spokane Police Department because that's where we live. We're not in Kentucky, and I get it. I wish that we had more control. But right now, here's my suggestion. For everybody that wears a uniform or that's able to work in administration dealing with the safety of others, like the police department, like judges, attorneys, and those different occupations, I think that they need to add some more questions to those applications. We think a lot about, people that use marijuana or people that may have had a drug addiction in the past and they won't be being 911, 911 dispatchers because you can't pass that lie detector test. So if you're going to give the police a lie detector test about drugs, you need to give them a lie detector test on when did they last call somebody a nigger? When did they last slap their wife at home? When did you last have a thought that you wanted to kill somebody just because of what they look like? Because if we do that, if we run it back, and they said, well, how do we even do that? Well, run it back. Everybody that has a uniform or works for the department, give them the lie detector test. Oh, well, we won't have anybody to protect us. What? So we're going to let them kill us? So we're going to die? It's okay if there's only a few. A few is better than a lot